There is no growth without inner conflict, nor transformation without discomfort. The hardest truth we can face is our own limitation, because it challenges us to let go of masks and take responsibility for what we have left undone. But it is precisely there, in the recognition of fragility, that genuine strength is born. A strength that does not impose itself through shouting, but is revealed in the silence of perseverance. To walk toward self-knowledge is to accept that the journey has no end, but is a continuous invitation to reinvent oneself. Philosophy reminds us that the outer world is a reflection of our inner world. Thus, changing the way we think about ourselves and reality is the first step toward a transformation that resonates in every area of life. Asking, "Who am I?" is not an exercise in vanity, but the key to unlocking internal doors that many avoid exploring. The human mind is a vast territory where both light and shadow dwell. Psychology offers us tools to explore this space without fear, to understand our fears, our limiting beliefs, and our deepest desires. Awareness of these elements frees us from the invisible prison we build around ourselves. Through the acceptance of our imperfections, we begin to build a fuller and more authentic life. Spirituality, in turn, is the thread that connects our existence to the infinite. It is not an escape, but a deepening of reality. It is realizing that there is a higher order within the apparent chaos. It invites us to trust, to surrender, and to recognize that despite the challenges, there is a greater purpose sustaining our journey. This surrender is not passivity, but the courage to be vulnerable and truthful in the face of life's mystery. Finding true motivation is an act of alignment between what we believe and what we do. Motivation, born from comparison or the pursuit of approval, is fragile and fleeting. The one that endures comes from internal congruence, the feeling of living in harmony with our own values and passions. That kind of motivation fuels us through doubt and darkness and helps us keep going when the path seems uncertain. When philosophy, psychology, spirituality, and motivation intertwine, a practical wisdom emerges that guides us beyond difficulties. This wisdom doesn't promise a path without pain, but offers a way of walking that transforms suffering into learning and uncertainty into opportunity. It is an awakening to a life where the verb to be becomes the verb to live in its fullest form. We are made of experiences, memories, emotions, and choices. Nothing is fixed. At every moment, we have the possibility to reinvent who we are. This possibility is both a gift and an immense challenge. It is easy to get lost in routine, in repeating patterns, in the voice that keeps saying we're not enough. But it is in those moments that awakening becomes urgent. The decision to look inward, to open ourselves to change, to accept the unknown, that is the starting point of true freedom. Freedom is not the absence of limits, but the conscious ability to choose and expand them when possible. It is the courage to face discomfort, to question ingrained truths, to take responsibility for one's own life. This freedom is earned through discipline, patience, and self-compassion. The pursuit of happiness is one of humanity's most powerful forces. Yet happiness is not a permanent state, but moments that arise from deep connection with what gives our lives meaning. True happiness is born when we can accept the present with all its imperfections, when we align with our deepest values, and when we allow ourselves to feel without judgment. Happiness multiplies when shared, when it becomes a bridge between us and others. In this connection, we discover we are not alone, that we are part of something greater. Spirituality reminds us of this essential interconnection, the invisible thread that links all life. In this recognition, we find hope even in the most difficult circumstances. The path of inner transformation is long and demands daily courage. Every conscious choice is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the soul. Cultivating these seeds requires patience because the harvest is not always immediate. The process of change involves falling and rising, doubt and faith, silence and action. We must learn to walk with uncertainty, to dance with fear, to trust life even when we cannot see the next step. True strength does not lie in ignoring emotions, but in allowing them to express themselves and teach us. Anger, sadness, fear, all are parts of ourselves asking for attention and care. Repressing these emotions builds walls that separate us from our humanity. Embracing them with love and understanding is the path to healing and the expansion of consciousness. Self-knowledge is a mirror reflecting who we truly are, beyond the masks we wear to survive in the world. It requires humility to face our shadows and courage to celebrate our light. This journey leads us to an authenticity that is not based on external approval, but on deep self-respect. Time, often seen as an enemy, becomes an ally for those who choose to live with presence. The now is the only moment in which we can act, feel, and be. Learning to inhabit the present is freeing ourselves from the weight of the past and the fear of the future. It is a daily practice of mindfulness that turns routine into a meaningful path. Spirituality invites us to look at the world with renewed eyes. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow, every encounter a lesson, every moment a chance for deep connection. To live spiritually is to recognize the sacredness of life, even in small things, even in pain. When we unite mind, heart, and spirit, we find a balance that sustains our journey. This integration allows us to act wisely, feel deeply, and believe with confidence. It is not about perfection, but about a sincere commitment to the process of being human in its fullness. The motivation that arises from this balance is a steady flame that does not go out in the winds of difficulty. It reminds us that we are more than our circumstances, that there is an unchanging essence within us that deserves to be discovered and lived fully. On this path, we learn that love is the most transformative force. Love for ourselves. That drives us to care and respect. Love for others. That connects us and makes us part of a greater web. Love for life. That gives us meaning and direction. To live is a sacred act, a unique opportunity to express the beauty of who we are, in every choice, every gesture, every thought. True wisdom lies in recognizing this gift and honoring it with authenticity and courage.